Maryland. I mean, it's been a while since we've been 75 degrees, but I'm loving every minute of it. It's good to hear it's like that down in the ATL. You can't ever pass up a 75-degree day. What it tells me is spring is on the way. Okay, spring is on the way. The boy has his last hockey tournament this weekend. Noobs, I'm wearing shorts to school tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I got a pair out. Got them all ready to go. It's shorts. It's hot in my room, too.
They're more like chinos on him.
Chinos. I wear, what do they call those? I wear cargo shorts, and they said cargo shorts are like wearing a fanny pack for a guy. And I'm like, oh, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't use every pocket, but I use several of them. No, Young, don't say it. I know what you're thinking. Keep it to yourself, Young. Hey, look, complete vision and purpose. It's tough to do, but we managed to keep this ship steering straight ahead as we embrace the wealth of sports happening in the world. Why do we love sports, guys? Well, we will talk about that and so much more with our reasoning during this podcast. It's good for our mental health. You know what I'm saying? It's really good for our mental health. You see all that other news and it's a mess out there. So this week's show is the last one for season 4. I can't believe it. I'm 162 episodes into this, and you guys have been with me for well over 50 episodes now. So it's been an incredible run for us noobs. I love the sign in the background. Anybody want to tell everybody the big news that we have coming down the road for us starting in season 5?
Big news. We are joining networks with Roku. Be able to stream there. So please promote, put it out there for us. Send it along all of your social media accounts and teach me how to do it.
Yeah, here's the thing, real quick. Do you realize what that means with Roku? That's going to be that's going to be on TV. More people will actually see us. Yep. So listen, I love you guys. Thank you for bringing me on. But once I blow up like a man smoking at a gas station and I start getting movie deals, fellas, I got to travel on. It's going to be like Justin Timberlake, but I'm moving on, fellas. Once they see this mug,
it's going to be like Entourage, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Entourage. And you know what? Sizzle, you reached out to Pat McAfee, right? We never heard back from him. When that mug sees our show and he wants to come and join us, hey, Pat, forget it, baby. We don't want nothing to do with you now. You can't
try to do the Pittsburgh connection. He's from Plum.
I recognized your picture in Plum's hallway, so telling you to look good. All right.
Hey, man. I'm celebrating with a glass of peanut butter whiskey tonight, fellas. A glass of peanut butter whiskey. If you've never had it, please indulge. It's delicious.
Wow. We have to try that one.
Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah. Hey, I got my boys here with me, as you could see. Chops, Coach Noob, T-Sizz. We have no idea where the dream is. Have not heard from the dream. We're just in a meeting with our guys from Elite Sports Network, who we are joining. That's going to get us a bigger audience. We're going to be on that Roku station, but we have no idea where the dream is. Anybody hear from that dude?
Man, we got to put the student loan people on them. They find everybody.
Yeah.
They'll find everybody.
Yeah. Hey, let's get down to business here. Let's do some spontaneous reactions. I'm putting us on a clock tonight because we got a lot to cover. It's Celebration of Women this month, and we're going to talk about women on this show. I think that's super important for us to make sure we acknowledge, because there's some great athletes out there that we've known, seen, and we want to acknowledge. So here we go, fellas. First one, why does the NFL need a non-tampering period for free agency before it starts? If it fits, if it's a fit, make an offer, sign it, let's move on. What do you think? Why do they throw that in there?
Trying to complicate things that don't need to be complicated.
Well,
yeah, really.
In my opinion, it was happening already, so they just legalized it.
Okay.
Can they say, I'm going to give you a deal, but then there's a counter? Their regular team, original team can come back, and that's why there's that tampering process?
Yes, it's not official, and that has happened several instances where guys said they had deals, and then the original team got them back.
So then my thing would be nothing is legit or official until you sign the dotted line. So again, I don't think with that no tampering phase, either Joey Pots and Pans is going to sign with so-and-so or he doesn't. And nothing is legit until you sign on the dotted line. Like when we were kids, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, for years, my dad kept telling me, I'm building you a go-kart. I'm building you a go-kart. And I was geeked. Never got it. So I don't care what the teams tell you. Until you sign the dotted line, that contract, that money, don't worry about it. So,
hey, would you have rode that thing down Wallace, or would you have taken that over to tar pits and rode that shit down into the tar pits?
Well, I'd have first started at Wallace, then I would have tried to jump the tar pits. You remember the tar pits?
Oh, absolutely. It's all dried up now, right?
Yes, and there's actually grass over it. The crazy part about it is
there's no board building there anymore.
No. Fellas, I didn't realize until I got to college that how weird we were growing up and throwing rocks and running the acid pit. Nobody else had an acid pit like that or a tar pit. Like that wasn't normal, but I didn't realize it till I got to college and started talking to other people. They're like, no, we didn't have anything like that.
I think Noobs is tuning us out, so I'm going to bring him up to speed. Noobs, over by where Mikey lived, when we were growing up, there was this giant tar pit, and it had a fence around it, and then the fence mysteriously kind of caved in, and it was a big tar pit. Like it was a working tar pit that nobody went in, nobody went near it. Everybody just called it the tar pit, you know. And it was wild.
Somebody's cousin didn't get thrown in there or something.
Man, you never know. You never know. You might have seen some horses in there and the head somewhere else.
It was ridiculous. Yeah,
we just don't know. All right, let's move on. Iron Mike Tyson, my guy, versus YouTuber Jake Paul, July 20th in Texas. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I'll tell you this one. I'm a huge Tyson fan. Always have been. We're the same age, the same mentality, except he's a killer and I'm only a semi-killer. We'll be streaming this, a live podcast. We've already talked about this. We just rehashed it a little bit. It looks like we're going to go live at Noobs and take you through the color part of it. We can't show you the fight. We got Chops making every arrangement possible to come up and stay with us. You know, what do these guys have to win and lose in this fight? I mean, I kind of know what Logan Paul or Jake Paul has. I mean, he beats Mike Tyson. He could say, I beat Mike Tyson. No, you're beating old ass Mike Tyson. You're not beating 30-year-old Mike Tyson. But what does Tyson have to, what does he have to gain?
It's just a money grab. And I'm telling you guys flat out, if Tyson doesn't come out in the first 30 seconds to a minute and attack him the same way he did Roy Jones, I know the fix is in. Mark, you can still hit a baseball. You can't hit a baseball like you could when you were 25, but you can still hit a baseball. So I'm telling you this, Tyson can still go. He can't go like when he was 25. And he has already said it. He can go hard for a round and a half. If Tyson doesn't come out throwing killer shots to the body like he did against Roy Jones, I'm going to know the fix is in. And real boxing fans know you don't even take this serious. I mean, like you said, he's a 58-year-old Tyson against a guy who has never fought. He's fought one legit pro boxer, and that was his loss to Tyson Fury's brother. You know what I mean? So it's a money grab.
How many rounds is this supposed to go?
I think it's scheduled for 8.
It's
scheduled for 8.
And Paul is the favorite, to believe it or not. He's the favorite to win. Tyson's the underdog.
Yeah, he's 58. He'll be 58 by the time they bang this out. Because he turns 58 in June.
Didn't George Foreman fight when he was in his late 50s?
He was in his 40s. In his 40s. Yes. Now, however, fellas, first off, they're going in Texas because Vegas will not sanction this. No legitimate boxing organization will sanction this. That's why it's still not sure if it's technically a boxing match or an exhibition.
I think it's exhibition because they have the headgear on.
Well, now
18-ounce gloves I saw.
Yeah, now that was Chamorro, who's a boxer, who said it's headgear and 18-ounce gloves. Now they're trying to come out and say it's not. There's going to be no headgear, so it's back and forth on that, whatever have you. The thing is, who's going to sanction a 58-year-old man to box? Even when Evander Holyfield fought at 59, and he fought, it wasn't sanctioned. You know, when he fought Vitor Belfort, it wasn't sanctioned, so it was more of an exhibition. So that's where, up in the wire, in the weeds they're getting caught. But anybody who's a true boxing fan, Tyson's significantly past his prime. Paul's not even earned his stripes as a real boxer, but for entertainment value, we'll get out. We'll
give him his stripes.
What positive could come out of this for Jake Paul?
That's what I said. Will this give him those stripes?
Well, here's the news. Don't forget, you have a bunch of YouTubers who don't know exactly. You have a bunch of YouTubers who don't know the real sport. Who's like, Paul's one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's undefeated. He knocks people out. Come on, dude. Really? But like, I
want him to get knocked out so bad.
God. But he's legit. He's legit in the aspect of Paul's legit. He's not gonna fight a real fighter. Even the UFC guys he fought wrestlers or guys that are past their prime.
Hey, look, the only thing I'm going to say is, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they showed Mike Tyson training as a 18-year-old, 16-year-old, something like that. And he was just amazing looking. And then they showed Jake Paul doing what he did as a 16-year-old. And I'm like, what the hell am I watching here?
He was a YouTuber. Yes. Ridiculous.
I also saw a clip of
what weight are they going to box at? Sorry.
What's that? What weight?
What weight are they going to box at?
I don't even know what Tyson's probably 200 now, 210.
25, something like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, we got to move on, fellas.
Whoa.
All right, since we got 3 out of 4 guys here that are Steeler fans, and we got a guy who is deep into the NFL and Coach Noobs, let's talk about the new addition of Russ Wilson to the Steelers. Is this a good thing for the Steelers? Did they do the right thing? I mean, this guy is.
How can you say they 1.8 million?
How can you? How do you? I don't understand how some people are hating on this. I don't get it. First off, real quick, you're going to meet. You'll get the best rush you can get. He knows he has a negative verbs, adjectives are all around him. So I think you're going to get the best version of Russ. Number one on his behavior. Did you see he already reached out and sent a little tweet to Patrick Queen coming over? Russ, you ain't been a Steeler but for 48 seconds. Now he wants to be the team leader, as in, reaching out to him, which I think is great. And fellas, he worked out, or should I say, he met with Arthur Smith and your boy for 6 hours, and 3 of those was with Smith one-on-one. I think he thinks he's going to be the starter. I really do. I think he's going to be.
But why wouldn't you have that? You have to have that mentality going in. Even if they say you're coming in as a backup, that's not my mentality.
Yeah.
He's an all-pro. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. Why would he come and say otherwise?
9 times. Yeah, 9 times. And fellas, he didn't play bad. The team was terrible, and but I think it's a great thing. I like it. What do you think, Noobs?
Hey, breaking news right now.
Move.
I just saw that.
Breaking news: Deontay Johnson's getting traded.
Where to and for what?
I'm looking to see where they're trading him.
Panthers. He's going to Carolina. And then also, who we just talked about off screen here, off air, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to the Eagles, 3-year, $33 million.
He's going home.
Wow.
Yep, he's going home. What are the Steelers getting for Deontay Johnson?
I don't know.
Yeah, it just broke on the screen, on my screen. So I don't know. I'll give you details once I see more.
Real quick. Wallace, remember Wallace, the wide receiver that was a speed demon.
Mike Wallace, yeah.
He did well, won it out of Pittsburgh, got what he wanted, but didn't get he got what he wanted, but then he wasn't happy, right?
Right.
He went to Miami, never heard anything from him. Le'Veon Bell, you got what you wanted, now let's see if you want what you get. He got out of Pittsburgh, went to Jets, never heard from him again. Right. Deontay Johnson went out of Pittsburgh, he said that or whatever. Now you get shipped to the Panthers. Fellas, they're in more disarray than a high school. They're ridiculous. I don't think he's happy now. I don't think
Antonio Holmes, after he caught the touchdown pass, Tony 2 taps. You didn't hear anything from him when he went to Miami, I think, right?
He went to the Jets. He went to the Jets.
So there's a lot of guys, fellas.
They didn't want him because of this. Okay, here's what the Steelers get. They get Dante Jackson. Who the hell's that? Is he good, Noobs?
I don't know.
Dante Jackson and pick 178. Pick 178.
Fellas,
and the Steelers are giving up pick 240 with Deontay Johnson.
Fellas, but now even we see Purdy, we see some of these 4th and 5th rounders making their way. It doesn't matter where. Of course, you want the better guys in the top first round, whatever have you. But if you get a guy and you can work him, it doesn't matter where the pick is from if you can get him to work.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson's going from bad to worse, though.
Yes, he is. He is.
Okay,
jokes on him.
Hey, I'm moving us along. Check it out. Saquon to Philly, which is an interesting move for him. He's not traveling that far. Saquon to Philly, but he's got a beef with Tiki Barber.
It's not about the distance. It's about they're in the same division. It's not the distance. It's a division.
But why do they have a beef? What? And Barber's saying that this is going on before this went down.
Yes, Saquon had said that he's felt some disrespect from him and hatred. Wow, fellas, first off, they're from two different categories where years ago, loyalty to a team, and we thought before free agency, we used to think that even teams were loyal to players, so to speak, but the way players get cut now. And he said it years ago. Do you remember when even linebacker, Ray Lewis, when he was a free agent for Baltimore, he said, I'm not giving you a hometown discount. My play's not discounting. So they can hate on him, but you got to admit, Saquon tried for a while. Fellas, I need help. This is what I want. I want to be a Giant. And they told him, dude, they treated him like he was Joey Jackoff. They didn't give him what he wanted. They didn't even try to work with him. They paid Danny dimes and didn't pay Saquon. You can't hate on Saquon, man. Go with the money.
Running backs aren't getting the respect. That's why he's not getting paid. I don't think he did anything wrong. Tiki Barber's running his mouth. I don't know why. He's been done. And he did this to Strahan when Strahan was like the leading sack and he was renegotiating his contract. He's like, what are you doing? Just take your money, you know?
Now, I will admit, I thought he was joking when he said you're dead to us. I saw the clip. I thought he was tongue-in-cheek. I thought he was sort of joking.
Yeah.
I thought Saquon took it a little far. I did, but I'm not in that situation.
Fellas, not to go backtracking on you here, Dante Jackson is a starting corner for the Carolina Panthers. He was a second-round pick in 2018. He has 303 combined tackles, a sack, 14 interceptions, and 1 touchdown since 2023. He had his best year. It looks like his rookie year. He had 74 combined tackles, 4 INTs. So, but he is a starting corner. So Pittsburgh went out and got themselves a starting corner for Deontay Jackson. They must have something in the works. So, Noob, was I talking about this with you? If you're going to trade Deontay Jackson, I was with you and Sakari. Yeah. If you're going to trade him, you better have a surefire number 2 there. And I have a funny feeling, you guys could say I'm full of shit. I have a funny feeling that now that New England is putting Juju Smith-Schuster on the market, and based on his age and his familiarity with Pittsburgh, that they may go ahead and dangle something out there to get Smith-Schuster back.
Why not? He was on the Chiefs when they won a ring. Didn't he win a ring with the Chiefs?
Yeah, but he was in New England last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's already got a ring. Yeah. He'd love to come home. You know what I mean? He'd love to come home if he's not getting he wasn't getting a run.
He's still looking for his bike. He's still looking for his bike.
Yeah.
He says you gotta get that dog a bone.
What the hell? Put on my cargo shorts.
Hey, get your stay-at-home son to take care of that dog right now. All right. Noobs, this one's for you, baby. Kirk Cousins to the ATL. 4 years, $180.
This dude is in the contract Hall of Fame. I'm telling you, you will not find a better guy that is taking advantage of his situation better than Kirk Cousins. Absolutely amazing, right?
Yeah.
After this is all said and done, he's going to be over $400 million.
$455 million.
That's $1 billion almost this guy has made.
That's almost as much as LeBron. Think about that. That's crazy. Yes. Oh, LeBron's like
he's won 1 playoff game. Something. Hey, he's won 1 playoff game.
12 years. In 12 years, right?
Yep.
1.
Yeah.
1. But this is like such a cool scenario for him because his wife is from Georgia. His in-laws live there. So he gets to finish his career in Georgia with his in-laws there. I don't know where his family's from, but probably up in Michigan. But they get to finish down in Georgia. He gets to buy a final home in Georgia. His kids get to grow up in Georgia. It seems like the perfect scenario. He's just played this thing out so well.
Fellas, here's the thing. We had talked about this before, right? We were talking about school systems real quick. You know how it comes across, and we were talking about race and whatever.
Yeah.
Listen to me. black people, we know we will never see this happen to a quarterback. I don't want to call him a journeyman because he's not, but like you said, he has had contract Hall of Fame. His agent is phenomenal. This will never happen to a black quarterback. He is above average, one playoff win, 36 years old, just came off an Achilles, and you're guaranteeing him $100 million. You're telling me Denver just got rid of Russ. You're telling me he is basically they're leaving $85 million on the corner for Russ. Just throw it away. He's not worth it. He's not won anything. But hey, get your bag. But he's
not about Watson with the Browns.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, I say, and Watson was ridiculous. If Watson at least still was young and had the potential that he could have been something. And again, we all know that the Browns.
Yeah, he could have been something. All right.
Seriously, he could have been something. He still had that baby. I mean, for the love of Jesus, when you're talking about a guy who has been I don't want to say the epitome of mediocrity, but fellas, nowadays anybody can get the back. Baker Mayfield had one good year. He's guaranteed $100 million. Or at least $50 million. He's guaranteed.
He does them commercials.
Hey, Chops, let me ask you this. Who would you equate as a black quarterback like Kirk Cousins? That's a serious question.
Well, talent-wise, I would say Geno Smith. Because I think Geno can be, you know what I'm saying? I think if Geno had the weapons, he could have been average and gotten a playoff win too, whatever have you, just like Kirk Cousins has. However, Kirk Cousins, I don't know what he does at home. He never makes the news, good or bad. Freddie, come on now. Warren Moon was much better than Kirk Cousins. I see our boy Fred from back. I think Warren Moon was much better.
Hey, how about Teddy Bridgewater?
Oh, man. What could have been if he hadn't tried? Yeah, you're talking about it. Teddy Bridgewater, it was his knee that destroyed him. He's 36, your boy, and he's coming off an Achilles.
Steve McNair.
Yeah. Hey, here's one last thought on that, and then we got to move on. They could have put 4 years, $200 million on the table for Lamar last year. They had that opportunity. Lamar was 26 years old last year, right? And they didn't. But yet they're putting 4 years on the table for $180 million. And let's think about that. That is basically a running team with Bijan Robinson, who could catch the ball.
Yeah, but he's a nice run back.
Yeah, and remind me the other kid's name that runs the ball for them before they have Bijan. What's the other kid's name?
You're killing me. He's down here too, and you're killing me. If you wouldn't ask, I could have told you.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what they can do with the tight end, though.
Yeah,
listen,
Kyle Pitts has gone to the pan since he showed up.
Algier or Cordell Patterson.
Patterson. I love Patterson.
He can do it all, man. He's a utility knife. He's a utility knife. He can do it all.
All right, here we go. Next question. What's next for Fields?
Huge question.
Next.
They're not even fielding offers right now.
What's next? He stays where he is. Nothing's going on, right?
Well, Phyllis, I would say that because we haven't seen any movement. However, you guys have seen trades draft day. So there's still – you know what I mean? And I think literally, what did they say, like 59, 60, 61 actual quarterbacks started a game last year in the NFL. So he's only 2-point-something mil. So he's not going to be much anyway. Do I panic if I'm Fields? A little bit because I hadn't get any movement yet, but something can always happen up till draft day.
All right. So I heard today that Fields – started following Metcalf and some other Seattle Seahawks just recently, like over the last few days. And it would make sense to me because Geno's on the second of a 3-year deal. And Geno's 34 years old?
He's up there.
Yeah. So that would make sense to me. That would make perfect sense to me if they ended up pulling the trigger on something like that.
I mean, what are they going to do? They have the 1st and 9th pick. Are they going to trade get rid of Fields and get another 1st-round pick? That would be insane.
You know what? Here's also the thing.
They won't get a 1st-round pick for him.
For Fields?
No. He's talking about trade Fields. No, you're not going to get another 3rd-round pick for him. But that's what I was asking. What are they asking that nobody can agree to? Because even if they're asking for a 2nd or 3rd, you don't think Fields is worth a 2nd-round pick? Because, fellas, if we've learned nothing in these last few months, I think before – and I don't know if they're not given enough time, but we've seen more bust, for lack of a better term, on these first-round quarterbacks than we've seen in a long time. Now, again, I don't know if they're not giving them time or they're definitely not letting them hold the clipboard at all. You know what I mean? But Fields can still play. But regardless of what quarter, even if you take Caleb Williams, Daniels, I don't care who you take with that first-round pick and the first pick the Bears have. If you don't change the organization, you're going to have another quarterback that is garbage. Do you realize who's been their best? Jim McMahon, because he won a Super Bowl for him. Has that been their best quarterback in their franchise history? I mean, and he wasn't a great quarterback, but they won the Super Bowl because of that defense. But unless they change their organization, the next quarterback is going to be the same thing. Caleb Williams, he's not going to be much better to me.
His stats, Fields' stats are not bad.
No.
If you look at Fields' stats,
he's an athlete.
He's
solid.
a turnover machine, though. He turns the ball over a lot. And not only throwing picks, he fumbles the ball a lot. 17 fumbles in 3 years, I think I read.
Yeah, he does.
I
think also a lot of those were sacks, those like strip sacks or running, trying to
hold on to the damn ball then. Hey, that's not my fault. Hold on to the ball. That's what you paid to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they did trade him, got like a 4th or 5th for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the day they don't even draft Caleb Williams if they go a different direction. If they take like Derek May or somebody else.
They're going to pick a quarterback and they're going to get rid of him. I don't think it'll go to the 5th round, though. I think he'll go higher than, I'd say, 3rd.
You think a 3rd? There's a reason people aren't taking a flyer on him. There's a reason Atlanta paid all that money to Kirk Cousins. There's a reason other teams that needed there. Pittsburgh pulled their offer off the table, and they had a 2nd on the table.
There was a connection there with Morris, Cousins, and the offensive coordinator that the Atlanta Falcons brought in to Cousins. Now, 180 is still a lot.
Yeah, there's a connection there.
Yeah, but do you know what Chicago's asking? I don't know what they're asking.
Well, that GM there I think he wanted a king's ransom for him, and that's what happened.
He's got to have a contract next year. That's the problem. And I think the problem might also be word is out how much his people want for his contract. He might be wanting 40, 50 million a year.
Yep.
Whoa, he's on his rookie contract. He can't be getting that much.
Or
he's got 1 year. 1 year left.
His 5th-year option could be almost 20. I've heard that 1 year.
He hasn't even earned it.
Yep. All right. Last question is basketball related. Rudy Gobert got fined $100,000 for his actions. I don't know if anybody. I know we don't get deep into the NBA.
I saw it.
I don't think that is $100,000. I don't know.
It was a max fine. That's all that they can give him. 100,000 is on the player's contract or whatever. He makes the bargaining agreement, so it's chump change. But what he did, I mean, he made comments 2 days earlier about the games being set, and mainly because of gambling and the refs having a say in it. And so he was alluding to the fact you're trying to keep this game close because you're getting paid off or because of the money that's involved in gambling.
And fellas, and I get what Adam Silver wants to do. We got to come down on that because that's not true. And I've heard the talking head say, I don't believe they're fixed. I don't believe. That's what you're supposed to say. Tim Donaghy, we all know what happened to him. And fellas, again, they release injury reports for the bettors. They don't be, when what to set the line is, and let's keep it 100. All the major sports now are in bed with DraftKings and all these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we see it. I don't care if Rudy Gobert did or did not make that.
Where's this 100,000 go? Where does it go? Does it go to like third world? Does it do anything? What's it for?
Even know.
I'm interested. Where's this fine money go to? Does it go to Silverman's postseason party? Like,
I don't know. But let's be honest. Whether it's football, baseball, whatever, we've all seen calls where we're questioning. So whether he does that gesture or not, fellas, we've all seen calls.
I don't think it's $100,000 fine worth it. Just to me, it's not.
No,
to me, it's not. I mean,
but it's the fact that you have a player now doing that. Adam Silver's the commissioner. Worried, are people going to start thinking that? Alert! We've already been thinking that.
Yep. Have you ever been in a situation though where you're in a game and you're coaching and a ref calls the most ridiculous call you've ever seen in your entire life, and you're like, "Well, there's no way we can win. There's no way we can win if you're going to make calls like that. You're killing us." Like I've been there. There's nothing more frustrating because they take the game out of your players' hands and they take control of the game and that's it. And there's nothing you can do about it, and it's extremely frustrating. So I understand 100% what
at every level, Mike. At
Yes.
every level. The only level you don't get bitching about that is at like the youth level, and they're not worried about fixing.
But it's now the parents that are acting like that. But I get you when you're saying that we're talking.
He's a repeat offender. This is his 4th time. So I think, and I don't know what the other fines were, but maybe it's stacked up against him. And he's like, all right, we got to set a precedence here. With you now. Here's 100K.
But when Gobert said it, I'll be the bad guy. I'll take it. We see these calls. You guys see them. I think Adam Silver was like, yo, we got to put a cap on. We got to shut this guy up because, fellas, again, even if he hadn't done it, we already have the mindset of what's going on.
Can I go a little deeper with it? Would you rather
question?
have Rudy Gobert say what he said in regards to what he did, or would you rather have a guy like Kaepernick do what he did?
2 different things, but
yeah. But again, here's the problem with the Kaepernick thing. When the guy, number one, it was Nate Boyle. Not Nate Boyle. I can't think of Nate's last name. It was Nate, an actual Green Beret, who told him, "Don't sit down, take a knee. This is why." Then when Kaepernick tells you, "I'm not doing it out of disrespect," he told you why he did it. Then it was still changed to disrespect in the military. That's what bothered me. I would love Gobert to say it. I would have loved if LeBron would have said it, what Gobert did. But LeBron trying to be politically correct, it's going to be changed. However, it didn't. I don't know, man.
LeBron's too deep in the politics. If you want to see somebody say it that is going to hold weight, it's got to be somebody like Michael Jordan. That's that. Jordan
and Tiger have never done anything to jeopardize their money.
No.
They could give a shit less. Excuse my language. They don't care about. I don't care what ethnicity you are. They don't care. They're not hurting their bottom dollar.
No,
you know what I mean. And they're not doing any. They're not doing any of that. No man. They're not going to talk. They're not going to talk. But it did suck though. Even after the league comes out and want to say we want to have equality, and then they still won't give your boy Kaepernick a shot.
That's it for spontaneous, baby.
Oh, that's the groove right there.
Do you think Kaepernick was good?
I think he was what Lamar Jackson is now. He ran the RPO. He could run. You know what I mean? Whatever you got of him, he took his team to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship.
I think Jackson's a better runner and a better passer.
He's significantly faster. He's significantly faster. But again, what did Lamar play? 4 or 5 seasons? He didn't. I mean, he could. We have and Shanahan. Well, he didn't get Shanahan, but it's hard to say what he could have been. You take a guy to the A.
I went back and watched a couple games of Kaepernick, and I was not impressed. It was bad.
Well, again, let's not fellas. He couldn't be any worse than Trent Dilfer when he took a team to a Super Bowl and won. But it was defense was everything. You know what I mean? Here's my problem. Even forget about Kaepernick. We put so much emphasis on the quarterback position, where we have realized greatest game by a quarterback, most yards, was Brady, and he lost. With your boy, even when Brady was with the Tampa Bay and they won, I thought your boy Mahomes was the greatest player, the best player on the squad, but he had no O-line. We, for some reason, still give the quarterback so much prestige on how he plays. He's the leader. Quarterbacks don't make any tackles. And that's
today's NFL, though. That's today's NFL.
You guys love sports. Football is truly the ultimate team sport. And I hate how much emphasis is put on the quarterback. I do. I just hate that.
He don't make tackles, does he? Hey, we're moving on, fellas. We're moving on to the main segment. This is a tribute to the ladies for March. Ladies of the sports world. I'm going to start us off with this. Talking about the fight between in the SEC championship game between South Carolina and LSU. 6'8" center Camila Cardoso came to the rescue of her teammate Ashley Watkins. She was shoved in anger by Flau'jae Johnson on her way to the bench. 6 of the ladies rejected, along with Johnson's brother, who jumped on the floor, did nothing. Okay, did nothing. Is this behavior help or hurt, ladies?
No, he did nothing. He got handcuffed and escorted out by police.
Yes. Okay. Here's the thing. If you don't like who did it, you're going to have something to say. If it doesn't, you know what I mean? You're going to say what it is. Here's my problem. The dude, again, jumping over the scorer's table. It's a bunch of women. You're not going to fight them, so you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Cordosa, technically, the girl that you pushed was 3 or 4 feet away from your teammate whose face she had gotten in. That was completely unnecessary. And it did. Listen to me. I get emotions run high. I get you're only 21, 22. You're going to do 21, 22. You're dumb old things. But you have to realize the moment you're in at that point. You have to. And that to me, you pushing her couldn't have been more idiotic. There was no.
In the same essence, Mikey, the girl walking off the court, shoving the other girl, that was unnecessary too. You're pissed off. Okay, you're pissed off. All Cordosa did was come to the aid of her teammates. Not one person in particular, but her teammates. And I support what she did. You know what? Let whatever her name is from Baltimore go ahead and push her. I don't give a shit. Okay, it's a sport. The emotions are running high, like you said, and this happens. I think it's good for girls basketball, ladies basketball, because it shows that they have emotion and they play with emotion. Most people are like, I don't want to watch women's basketball. There's nothing. But obviously there is. Obviously there is.
This is the first year for me that women's basketball is outshining men's basketball. I'm telling you flat out, I can name more women players right now than men. I really can. And Mark, here's the thing. Remember, was it last year or 2 years ago when Caitlin Clark did her thing and she
just last year?
Okay, and it was nothing. Yeah. But she went like that. When Angel Reese did it, she caught flack. So if you don't like Cordosa or the girls who are fighting, you're gonna say it was bad. If you like sports and you're gonna think it was just idiots being idiots, if you don't, where it wasn't. To me, it wasn't much of anything. What bothered me was I didn't know how the suspensions would go for you had the SEC championship on the line. You had an undefeated season on the line. And I don't know, like in targeting, if you get targeted in the second half, call for targeting, you have to sit out the first half of the next game. I didn't know how that works in women's basketball. If you got, ejected in this game, how does it relate, whatever. So that to me was like, you got to think past the moment.
I just like the passion they displayed. And absolutely. I think it's really, really good for somebody who is clicking through the channels and saw that, or somebody who watches Sports Center or ESPN, whatever, and sees that passion in a woman's game to understand that they don't just go out there and go through the motions. Okay, I think there's a lot of people that look at those sports and say there's nothing exciting about it. They, the women don't dunk the ball. They're not physical enough. That was physicality to me, and I don't care. I don't care.
Here's where I got to give the pushback on that, because if you notice, those girls wear fake eyelashes and some wear makeup on the field, on the court. They do, seriously. So they're trying to still be ladylike. And if you're against them, again, you and I like sports, so I like it. It bothered me when you did it. If this is mid-season, do what you got to do. And I know there was more on the line, so emotions are running high. I get that. But again, is there any punishment for the first round of the tourney? Are they going to be punished at all? Or are they going to be all?
They haven't said it. They haven't said a word about it.
I don't know.
Nooks, what do you think of that? I want to hear your.
Go ahead, T-Sis, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is a really great year for women's basketball, women's sports here, and we're all hearing all about Caitlin Clark. But these two teams, I think, up and down, probably the top 10, 15 teams are making a push for it, but these two in particular, SEC tourney on the line here. When South Carolina beat LSU in late January, and then beat them again, was it this weekend?
Sunday.
So their frustrations were high. They don't have South Carolina's number. They're close, but they're not there. So undefeated, you said they're 32-0. And that's what we're going to be getting to later on. Top women's teams, they may put themselves up there. They're on the verge of becoming one of the greatest teams of all time.
This is my thoughts. I agree somewhat that you've got to stick up for your teammates. This is what I would have done if I was her. I would have walked past her, and she would have felt my body.
Yes.
Hit against hers, and she would have been like, "Oh shit." That girl could mess me up. And she would have known that she could have got messed up, but I wouldn't have messed her up only because what Chop said, I don't want the team to suffer because of my decision. So I always felt that way when I played. I was, you know how it is in football, like you're on the cusp of like trying to murder somebody. You really are. Like if you're going against a running back, you're trying to knock him out and send him to the hospital. But you're not face masking. You're not trying to hit him in the throat. I mean, there's little things you don't do that are illegal. You just don't cross that line. Like you do everything that you can within the rules. And so I agree, Mark, she's got to stand up for her teammate. And I think it's awesome she did. I just would have done it a little different way that wouldn't have got me ejected. I would have just bumped into her enough that she would have known, holy shit, that 6'8" girl could have kicked the shit out of me.
Yeah, and you know what? You're right, Mark. Let me piggyback off what Noob said. That I would have done the same way Filipowski tried to trip old boy and act like he didn't try to trip the. I don't know if you guys saw that over the weekend, Duke in North Carolina, but I would have possibly been watching her, look away, but run smack into her so she knows. But when you push her down like that blatantly, you're getting ejected. Now again, if there's no penalty for the tourney, cool. Fellas, I am not going to lie to you. I thought there was still a minute and a half or something like that left. I thought LSU was going to pull that back out because they had Reese, they had starters that were still there. I thought LSU was going to end up pulling that out, and it would that because this is their second straight undefeated season, I think, for South Carolina.
Yeah.
Man,
they're legit. Hey, let's move on. Let's talk Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark hit the game-winning 3 to win the Big Ten title over Nebraska. Nebraska was up a great deal in that game, and they came roaring back. Caitlin Clark might go down as the best female basketball player to come out of the NCAA, maybe ever. I mean, she broke all the records, and she has – I don't know if you guys realize this. She has another year of eligibility, but she's already declared herself for the WNBA. Imagine the points she could put up next year and how much she would distance herself from the second-place person scoring. Is she going to go down as the best NCAA girls basketball player ever?
That's tough to say because I'll
be honest with you. I'm not the guy to ask because I never watch that much. I know she's going to be the best pure shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even when we talk about men's college or men's pro, the best pure shooter we ever say at a game is not the best player of the game. However, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Caitlin Clark fan. I don't know why. I'm just not. But I'm telling you what, when you talk about a pure shooter, when they ask what's her range, she just got to be in the gym. If she's in the gym, she's in range. She's hitting shots. It's ridiculous. Dude, I don't know if you guys saw it against Nebraska, but just for shits and giggles, she shot basically from the emblem. It was significantly.
I watched the Maryland game when she was here. It was like she was in the girls' locker room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, wasn't that one of like almost sold out?
Yeah.
Because so many people were excited to see her. She's great for the game.
Yeah, she is.
She's a great ambassador. She's going to do wonders. In like our guest last week, he doesn't believe in the GOAT label. It is hard to say that because everybody has their own unique style and flair to the game that they bring. But I agree with Chop saying that pure shooter, absolutely. But all around, I don't know because I don't know it that well. But I think she's phenomenal. Going to do great for the WNBA.
All right. Thoughts on the Utah State. Listen to this. I don't know if you guys heard this. Utah State ladies coach Kayla Ard got fired immediately after they lost their game in their division, their section, whatever.
Yeah.
And the athletic director walked up to her and, dismissed her from her position. She goes up to the stand, post-game presser, and they ask her, are you building on something here based on, the way the season played out for you this year? She looks at everybody and she says, I'm not going to be here anymore. I wish them nothing but luck. Thank you for letting me, coach here.
They said, how do you plan to rebuild for next season?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She said, I'm not going to be rebuilding. I just coached my last game at Utah State.
Yeah. And
then she's sitting there. Okay, I guess there's no more questions. Got up and walked out.
I think that's just absolutely
dumbfounded. Yeah.
Noops, would you ever do that to an assistant coach walking off the field? As
an athletic director, it's so asinine to not even just sit down and have a sit down like after the fact. Bring her back Monday and have a meeting talk about everything in a civil situation where you can bring in other people that, can bring in whatever views and whatever the issues were, at least talk them out. Like, you can't just be like, you're fired the day, like the last game you played. That's the most asinine and unprofessional thing I've ever heard of.
And you know what? You're both. Here's the thing. And this may be more asinine. Yes, it was asinine to do that even before she got off the court. But she was terrible. Did you see her record? I'm like, you're right. She should have been more professional. But honestly, I think the reporter, either he or she knew something by asking that question. As terrible as she has been, I don't even know if any of you guys checked her record. She's barely over 200 a win percentage. She's terrible.
The Mendoza line, huh?
Yeah. So she literally is barely over 200 in 4 years. So why you'd even ask, where did she go from there to try to rebuild? She's never built anything. You know what I mean? So I don't even know why that question was asked, almost like you knew the response that she is going to be fired, because it'd be different if we were going for something or we had a bad loss. Where do you go from here? You were coming up, you were on the come up, but you had an unfortunate loss. Where
so
are you
what you're saying is she should have said, you know what? I sucked. I had a 24-90 record. I should have been. I'm lucky. I'm still here. I should have been gone a long time ago.
Seriously, fellas, she was. I mean, and you hate for that. And then I don't know if it's the same with it, if they had to buy her out or if she still gets guaranteed. I don't know. But she had to know that was coming. Had to. Now, again, asinine to do it before she even takes the coach's table. But but here's my thing. Why even go? Why even go to that? Why to go to the press conference? You told me I'm fired. Why? Why did you even sit down and take
That's what I was thinking. I wouldn't have gone to the coaches conference. Oh, no. I'm fired? Okay, thank you.
See ya.
And that's it. You might as well go and talk to the media because I'm done. I'm just grabbing my shit, saying thank you to the girls and heading out.
But she did. She did her dirty. She did.
The U.S. women's national team defeated Brazil for the fourth straight time in tournament finals. In the inaugural Gold Cup held in San Diego on Sunday, they had one goal from Lindsey Horan. Now that some of the women who have a more political mentality about playing sports are gone, I won't mention Megan Rapinoe's name in there. Will this win spark women's soccer again in the U.S.? Because I think they had a big falling off in some ways because Rapinoe put herself out there like that. Is Alex Morgan going to be the new face of ladies soccer?
And the only reason why is because she's friends with Taylor Swift.
Oh, Alex Morgan is?
Yes, 2015 they became besties. But it's cyclical. The new regime coming in, she's a dominant player, and I think there was a little lull there. Now I think it's picking back up, and to see them defeat Brazil, that's huge.
I felt like at the end of Rapinoe's career, I think they played in some kind of final or something. I forget what they played in, and she missed a penalty kick that could have either continued to play or ended the play, whatever it was. And she kind of laughed about it and walked away. And I don't know.
Looked intentional. The miss almost looked intentional too.
Yeah, I mean, she was
really wide.
She really lost me as an athlete because she was so political and so outspoken about being political. I never want to hear an athlete. I never want to hear an actor. I never want to hear a musician try and push their political agenda on me. I don't even accept the Apple Belt when they give it to me at my school. I need to make my own decisions.
Well, then on that aspect, I'd say if we don't want to hear, regardless if you agree with it or not, if you don't want to hear their view on that, then they shouldn't be allowed to push Coke, soda, or Pepsi, because that's
they get paid for that.
But here's my thing: if you have the right to say it. I may not agree with her, I may agree with it, but you do have the right to say it. And if you have that platform, because there are things that are going on that people that, like I said, don't have voices are never getting out there, that have no idea. We have friends from our hometown that we were pulled over together, me and whatever. We were pulled over together. The policeman literally pulled him out. We were in a neighboring city. The cops literally pulled him out the car and said, "We'll let you go. Don't bring him back," which was referring to me. And there are things that have literally, hell, my wife and I got pulled over in Mississippi within the last count. That's a lie. It was 2 years ago. We got pulled over in Mississippi. And when the cop pulled up to the car, the first thing he said to my wife was, "Ma'am, are you okay?" Then asked me 4 times, "Whose vehicle am I driving? Whose vehicle?" Went back, ran on my shit, and came back and asked my wife again, went to the passenger side, "Ma'am, are you sure you're okay? Do I need to call anyone?" That's happened 3 times to us. So, and I have a white wife. There are things that literally, when I have gotten pulled over, that even though I know my registration is fine, it's good, everything is straight, I still to this day get nervous when the police get behind me, and I know when I'm legit.
Me too.
My parent, yeah, Marcus, I have a friend that looks like you. They don't know he's a real white dude, and he's caught issues. Fellas, my father had to have the conversation to me how I react when the police pull me over. When I would go out driving, my father worried, will I be able to come home? And it was Vandergrift, that was an issue. But if I went further out of Vandergrift, whatever have you, I don't know if you got real talk, like, if your father's ever had to have that conversation with you, how you conduct yourselves with the police when you get pulled over. So that I get, but there are some things that are going overboard, this, that, whatever have you. And I'll be honest with you, fellas, if they're saying something I don't want to like, I don't get mad enough that I don't no longer watch a sport, because there's people every day I disagree with, regardless of what it is. But there are some things that I agree with people that I catch flack for my own community on. Because Mark, how I was raised. My dad didn't give a shit about color on that aspect. It was, there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way. Color doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, and I've heard that from other people, that she got too political. I'm an ignorant idiot. I didn't even watch enough soccer regardless. I couldn't even tell you, literally, fellas, I have no idea what she got political on. I didn't watch soccer at all.
Well, she put it out there enough that I think a lot of people were soured on it. And I know I was one, and not that I watched it all the time, but I'm always looking for that female athlete or that female person, for a younger female to look up to and aspire to create something in terms of her life because of seeing somebody else who's having a life that they created for themselves through hard work and dedication. That's all. I find it, I don't know. Noob.
I hear you. I think it's a fine line. I think a lot of people go to sports. They want to watch sports as a escape from the everyday bullshit that they have to deal with. And when that gets thrown into your one escape, you're like, I just wanted to get away from that crap. Like I want to just watch a game. And I think that's where the disconnect occurs. I agree. And I understand why an athlete might have a stance this way or that way. I get it. Everyone has different feelings and they come from different places. I get all that. But I think for a lot of sports fans, like, their escape is watching this. And they just want to watch the sports and they just want to enjoy the game for what it is.
It's like I teach engineering classes. I'm not an engineer, I'm a teacher. Just put that straight. But I teach these classes, and I'm advocating for students of color and females, because in that field, there's not a lot. And I'm telling these students, you have such a unique opportunity. And when we go on field trips and we have guest speakers and they see people like them, they're like, damn, I can do this too. And I think whenever people in that area, that sparks an interest. In the sports realm, when they hear someone talking, like Chop said, it gives them that voice, but you got to know when.
Fellas, don't, and like you said, don't get me wrong. It goes overboard too. Just note, and let's keep it 100. You do realize they can no longer use the Redskin symbol. That was actually created by a real, true Native American, and an Indian chief and an Indian council okayed that, and they wanted to be represented that way. However, woke America realized that's not right. Hold on. The person who created it was of that ethnicity. They were of that ilk. So it goes a little overboard too.
I wondered about that. Is it people are like, it's insulting? I'm like, is it insulting, or is it giving honor to somebody?
And if you truly study where it came from and how it got to be that, they literally, you say what you want, but the Washington organization, when they came up with that logo, went to a Blackfoot Indian chief and a Blackfoot Indian council, and they wanted that because they used to have just the arrow, and the Black Chief Indian Council came up with that. That was so that is legit. But now woke America says, no, we can't have that. But you didn't do your research on where it came from. That bothers me. And again, also, if there's someone who believes something that I don't, if you like Kaepernick, if he was kneeling, or somebody wants to, whatever your gesture is, I don't care if you want to wear a heavy metal shirt or you do this to represent whatever it may be. If you're doing that over there, it doesn't bother me. Now, if you're grabbing the mic and you're interrupting the commentators, we don't need to hear that. But if you want to do whatever you want to do over there, I'm not even paying attention to you. And not, that's just me. You know what I mean? And fellas, to me, everyone is getting in too much of everyone else's business. That's just me. That's just me. So I love sports because but also sports is a great thing because that's where you will have inner city Black kids best friends with country white boys that would have never spoken to a Black guy, would have never spoken to a white guy if they hadn't been for sports. You know what I mean? And that's where, to me, and I know it's an old saying, I'm the old guy, but sports to me, fellas, is a final frontier in a lot of ways because you will have this divisiveness against the sports fans, but in the locker room, in the locker room, you don't have that, man. In the locker room, you don't have it. It is what it is.
I just had that conversation with my coworkers today. I said, man, my best memories of college football are the locker room and the bus rides. We had so much fun. It was the best time ever. There's so many characters. And it's people from all ilks. Yeah.
Hey, if you want to break down walls, Mikey, if you want to break down walls and you want to see where the rubber meets the pavement, go watch Remember the Titans. That's the bottom line.
Oh, without question.
Okay, so there's a little bit of fictitiousness to it, but I'll tell you what, the unification that comes together there between the whites and the blacks just goes to show you that, and that happens in football, and I don't know how in the hell we got down this rabbit hole, and I will tell you, when I coach kids, when I teach kids, when I talk to kids, when I deal with kids, I deal with kids. I don't deal with color. I don't deal with your socioeconomic. I don't deal with any of that shit. You are a young person to me.
Think about this real quick. Nothing stays in the locker room. Everything gets out now. If there's a locker room fight, whatever, and you even had some bullying, guys doing this, whatever have you. But where have you heard in a locker room that there has been a racial divide and the white and the Black guys are fighting? You don't hear that. You hear it in the fans. You hear it in the seats. You don't hear that against the guys who are in the foxholes with each other. And I know we've all met guys that are in the military where you've seen a white guy that was from the country, a Black guy from the city who had never spoke to another ethnicity. And once they met in the military, dude, I ended up being in his wedding. That was one of my best friends. You know what I mean? And that's where you have people that have nothing to do with it and are sitting on their couches eating Doritos all day. And it is like I said, Mario, I don't understand how we got down this rabbit hole, but things are.
Hey, look at Bubba and Forrest. Just look at Bubba and Forrest.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Top 5 women athletes, all-time women athletes.
Oh, okay. Real quick, hold on for just a quick second. My definition of an athlete is someone that can do multiple sports. I think they could do multiple things. And I say that because forget it. I couldn't tell you 5 more because would it only be basketball players?
No, it could be any athlete.
No, what I'm saying, who else would you put in there? Jenny Finch?
Okay, I'll give you my top 5, and I'll go from 5. Number 5, Ronda Rousey. MMA. She's a groundbreaker.
Do you think she could play any sort of basketball? Do you think
I don't care. I don't care if she can or she can't.
She's an athlete. She's a great fighter.
But you could take any WNBA girl and put her in the ring with her, and would they walk out?
You're actually right, because she's a great fighter. She's a great fighter. But if you
was great at her sport.
My thing would be
she was transcendent and great at her sport.
If you had them, let's wrestle, let's shoot free throws, let's go to the batting cage.
Okay,
she's definitely gonna. That's what I'm saying. What's an athlete? Because
I don't know because I don't care. I'm giving you.
I think we mean at their discipline. At their discipline.
All right.
Okay. There you go. Thanks, Mike. Number 4, Cheryl Swopes. Okay. Number 3, Mia Hamm. Number 2, Serena Williams, and you could throw Venus in there if you want to do the sisters. My number 1 is Jackie Joyner-Kersee. And then,
Wow.
And then
you always do this. You can't give 6. You said
I got to do an honorable mention.
And you start taking mine, and then I sound stupid.
Listen. You need to drink peanut butter whiskey. Listen, I got to give an honorable mention, and this is the only thing I'm doing for this one. Helen Maroulis. She's a gold medal winner in the Olympics, and I actually taught that kid. She is an Olympic athlete who won a gold medal, first gold medal in wrestling. So shout out to Helen. Anybody else got their 5?
You're going over now that you're doing it that way. Go ahead, Noobs.
All right, let me go. I'm similar. I got Lisa Leslie at number 5. She won 4 gold medals, 3 MVPs. So I was always admired Lisa Leslie. I thought she was awesome. So I got her at number 5. And this is just people that I know, like that I really watch. I mean, I may have missed some people in the 70s or whatever. Katie Ledecky, 7 gold medals, 21 world championships. That's insane. Mia Hamm, just because I had a crush on her. She was at Carolina when I was at Wake Forest.
Woo!
I thought she was so hot. And she was actually really good. She won 2 gold medals, 2 Olympic gold medals, 2 FIFA World Championships. And she was kind of like the face of women's soccer. And it was just coming out when she was there. So she was kind of the face of it. So I thought she was awesome. Jackie Joyner-Kersee was amazing. 3 gold medals, 1 silver and 2 bronze. And I'm not sure about world championships, but I'm sure she won a shit ton. She was legit. And then Serena Williams is my number 1. She, 17 singles grand slams. That is insane. Like, I just don't know how, like, they say generational talents. Like, is there anybody that will ever beat that?
I don't think so, but you never know. You never know.
Crazy.
You never know who will come along.
Yeah. And 13 doubles with her sister.
Hey, Sus, you got 5?
Yeah, no particular order. Bruce, no, can't say
Bruce Lee.
No, the guy who won the decathlon.
Yeah.
Bruce Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner. Stop. You're going to get us all fired.
We're not even going to get on Roku before we can get on Roku.
Oh, Jesus. New guys are out. I'm logging out. See you guys later.
All right, no particular order.
Chops is like,
Serena, it's got to be the Williams, but I'm going to go with Serena. I'm going to throw in. Sorry, Wilma Rudolph.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Did I redeem myself? I'm done.
Yes, Wilma Rudolph was a good.
Danica Patrick.
Yeah, I
just throwing something out there. Danica Patrick, definitely Katie Ledecky, and did you say Florence Griffith?
no.
Joyner?
Flojo. No.
Flojo, and Diana Taurasi.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Taurasi was up there. And mine, if we're doing that now, that all right, we'll go there. Like you said, I'm going to go a little different, and I'm going women that crossed the barrier.
Okay.
Again, forgive my ignorance how to pronounce she played in exhibition games, but the Lightning's goalie, she was a female goalie.
She was an exhibition.
Manon Rayon.
Yeah, but she at least made it to that level. Then I have Danica Patrick. I'm going to go with, she didn't do anything and she was younger, Michelle Lee. Michelle Wee. And so that's 3. Fellas, I do like you said, I'll go Leslie, even though she didn't cross over, but Leslie was there. But I really like I'm going Danica Patrick. I'm going Danica Patrick. Like, she was didn't win a bit, but she was racing with the men. And even though she didn't do much, her name is Cyborg. She was a female MMA fighter.
Yeah.
In her prime, I think she could have beat a man or two. In her prime, I think she could have beat a man or two.
Yeah,
she was like that.
Hey, how about Nadia Comaneci? Wow. She was amazing.
Yeah.
She was amazing. So, hey, that was a good list. Top 5.
Tonya Harding.
Who?
Tonya Harding.
Tonya Harding. Yeah.
She was a crossover.
Yep.
That's what we should do one time. The top 5 shit shows of sports.
That's a great call.
The worst
Write
of the
that
worst.
down.
That's coming down the pike. I like
Dude,
that.
write that down. That's a good one.
Hey, top 5 all-time women's teams in any sport. I'm going to go Tennessee Vol women's basketball, UConn women's basketball, the U.S. national women's team from 99, 96, and 04 that won Olympic gold and FIFA championship. I'm going to go Houston Comets that won 4 straight WNBA championships, the first 4. And I'm going to go to UCLA softball. They won 12 championships.
Oh,
that's my 5.
Shit,
wow.
Good. So I have the exact same list other than I didn't have softball. I missed that one. I went with Olympic Lyonnais feminine. I probably said that so wrong.
Feminine.
They won 5 straight World Cups.
Wow.
Yeah, from 2015 to 2020.
Wow.
Pandemic wiped them out, just like everybody else.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't put any of that up because mine were more realistic because I had not realistic, more up to date because I had watched like the Oklahoma team who went 68 straight in softball.
Yeah.
I was liking them, and now I'm on, and I couldn't remember the years, how many undefeated seasons. I could have looked it up that Eugene Oriema had. You know, Gene Oriema had, because his guys were great. But now the way in that you have the portal and Dawn Staley still be able to have 2 straight undefeated teams, that's impressive. Now you have to win. I think I hate to say it sours it, but if you don't win the title 2 years straight, it sort of sours it a little bit.
Especially when you're undefeated.
Yes, man. Yeah.
Sure. I'm going with the UConn 2016 UConn 38-0 national champ. 98 Tennessee Vols. Pat Summitt, baby. 39-0. The U.S. Women's World Cup champs in 19. The U.S. women's hockey team.
Good call.
4-3 over Canada.
Yeah.
They won the Olympic gold. And you guys got to diversify. How about the Kabuki Warriors? Asuka and Kerry Sane, 2-time WWE champs. And they held the belt the longest, 172 days.
Wow.
So let me ask you something. What do you think would be harder as you guys coach? Winning or having a dynasty now in college with the portal, or back in the day when you had to recruit properly and you got who you got? What do you think would have been harder?
The portal now.
No.
To win.
You have to re-recruit your kids every year.
Yeah, now it's so hard.
But now with the portal, you're able to get a starter from another school that you wouldn't have been able to get, who might be better than you.
Maybe.
If you have the money.
You got to offer something that makes them come over there.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah. There's a reason that guys are getting out of college football and they're going to the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about that one guy who basically left a head coaching job at the collegiate level to be like, what, a tight ends coach or some shit? I forget who it was.
Head coach.
Boston College.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's who it was. Yeah. It's crazy. College. All right. The last one for you guys. Top 5 all-time women's coaches. And I'm going to go first. Number 5, Carol Hutchins. 37 seasons at Michigan. Winningest coach ever. Okay. Pia Sundhage, who coached 2 Olympic gold teams, and her record was 91, 10, and 6. She was a soccer coach. Hutchins was a softball coach. Mary Weiss, who's the all-time winning volleyball coach, at number 3. Number 2, Jill Ellis, soccer all-time winningest coach. And my number 1 is not even a question mark, guys. Pat Summitt. It's not. There's not. You can't even.
Period.
Yep. Period. End of sentence.
Is it anybody different? Speak up. I'm pretty much right on with you. Pat Summitt. I don't know if you guys have you guys listened to some of the speeches she's had?
No, I can't say that I have.
She is amazing. She was an incredible coach. She could have coached the guys to 10 NCAA championships. She was really, really a great coach. She pushed her kids really hard. She talked about teamwork. Everything you want to be as a coach was Pat Summitt. She was awesome.
Yeah,
I admire her. She's she's on the Mount Rushmore of coaches for me.
That's interesting.
All coaches.
Who was UCLA basketball coach? She was like that for Tennessee.
Oh, Bob.
John Wooden.
John Wooden.
Yeah.
No, I put her with John Wooden and Nick Saban. I put her right next to them.
Well, then who's the fourth? Do you have a fourth? You don't have to say it. How about that? Okay. And because he let Rudy play. Tara, your favorite story. How about Tara Vanderveer? She was 5 games short of almost breaking Summit's record. She was basketball coach for Stanford, won 4 championships.
Yeah, she was excellent. Yeah.
I put her up there.
And again, fellas, I hate to be this ignorant. I didn't watch enough female sports to know for years, and I didn't pay much attention. So I knew, of course, Pat Summitt was going to be number 1, and I had number 2 just because she broke color barriers was Vivian Stringer, because the things that Vivian Stringer had done, you know what I mean, and Coach of the Year and whatever have you. But so that was it was it was going to be Pat. It was going to be Pat all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, T-Sizz, what's your quizzle this week?
Hey, can you guys name the Fab 5?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Juwan Howard.
Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, King, and Ray. You're killing. Juwan Howard was point. Chris
You can't
Webber.
look on the internet, Mikey.
No, I swear not. George, damn it. The dude that had the gap in his teeth. You're killing. Chris Webber. Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, the dark skin Ray King, and was it Ray King?
Yeah,
or Ray Foster? Is it Ray King?
Ray King, and I'm looking at the last. He had the gap in his teeth. I'm looking right at him. Ray.
I got a gap in my teeth. That's because you see me.
You looking at him? You looking at Mark?
Give me King? No.
Give us the letters. Give us the letters of their initials.
Anyway, you guys are way off. We're talking about women. The Fab 5.
Oh, you clown.
The Fab 5 originally were called the Fab 5, members of the 2012 Olympic gold gymnastic team in London. Gabby Douglas, Michaela Maroney, Ellie Raisman, Kyla Ross, and Jordan Weber. They were dubbed the Fab 5 and realized, oh no, that's after that Michigan team. And then they later became the Fierce 5. That's for the women.
Good job,
He got me on that one. He got me on that one.
Yeah, all of us.
He got us. But I ain't gonna lie. If he'd even said it, fellas, it's women who were the Fab 5, and I know I'd have never gotten that.
Hell no.
Never gotten that. Not at all. Not a lick. Not a lick. Man. Oh yeah, he got us on that one. He damn sure got me. He damn sure got. Oh, I know what I want to ask you guys real quick. Caitlin Clark said she's coming out if we're going her senior year. But with the money she's making in NIL, it's got to be more than she'd make in the NBA. That's why some of the NBA or WNBA stars are going overseas because they make peanuts in WNBA. So I tip my hat to her because she wants to challenge herself against the very best. But I'd like to know what she has monetarily because she's like, I don't need any more money.
She just signed a contract with Panini Sports Cards. So she's going to get a shit ton of money there. I'll guarantee you. I'll bet you she gets a shoe. I'll bet you she gets a shoe.
Might get like a cereal deal too, like Wheaties or something.
So she's huge. She's huge for the young girls today. I tell you what, if Angel Reese plays her cards right, because she's an attractive young lady, she could also make a shit ton of money.
Here's my thing though, real quick. And again, not to show my ignorance. Can you name me what are some of the women's shoes? Like we know we got the LeBrons, we got the Kevin Durant, Jordan. Do women? I hate to show my ignorance. I've never seen a commercial, and again, I know I watch a lot of. Is there a woman's sneaker out? Did any of you guys know?
I don't know, but that'd be a good place to start with Caitlin Clark. Yeah, I mean,
there's got to be. We couldn't be that ignorant to not have women's sneakers.
Lisa Leslie's. I used to work with her brother, Howard Leslie.
Serious?
Yeah. He was security at my middle school. Howard Leslie. All right, let's close this thing out. Chops, tell them where they can find you on social media.
I'm on the gram, Big Chop 79. You can find me on the X. It's a real Big Chops. And of course, I'm on the Facebook, Michael Gregory Mills. That's my government name, Michael Gregory Mills.
Go ahead, Noobs.
Oh man, X and Instagram at Coach Noob, just like it says right there. You can see it right there.
T says
at One Young Terry on the X and Gram.
You guys, I'll say Rasheen's because Rasheen did not join us this evening. He sent me a text. He's at some hotel somewhere. He does know. Why don't you let us know? Why didn't you let us know, boss?
Some hotel
somewhere.
He's easy to find.
Yeah.
He's easy to find.
He is getting fined, $100,000. Hey, Rasheen, Real Deal Hill. You can find him at Rasheen Hill and on Instagram at Mira May Tam Sheen. That's where you can find him. Hey, shout out to one of my other guys. I'm on a Monday night podcast called 108 Baseball Stitches with South Florida Tribune. My guy, Scott Morganroth, just got a book released. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's called Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. Scott's a great guy. Love working with him. Don't forget to set your alarm. Our next show will be April 6th. We'll be at Beer Tap, spelled with a Z, in Germantown, Maryland. Connect with us here on the Original Sports Podcast by checking out our webpage, podpage.com, Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei. You can find us on Facebook. You can join our conversation on Twitter. You can also reach us at TikTok at Original Sports Podcast and OSP with M&M, where you can find us on Instagram, and you can also track us down on Snapchat and YouTube. We're everywhere, man. And thank you to Elite Sports for bringing us on board. That gives us our fourth network we are on. So we are out there. We'll let you know what's going on with Roku. We will have a live show on Roku coming up real soon. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns by emailing us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Last time I'll say some of these names. Shout out to Sean and Koviak for doing our voice intro. Charlie Hodgson, he did our music for this season. He has our music for next season. And join us on April 6th as we experience the O on the Original Sports Podcast.